Welcome back. This now is the third and final step in writing a new text within the internet of texts, within the plenty of text, and to find your own tongue in talking, because you can't trust language anymore because it's fake all around. So we had scenographia is your person, orthographia, and now the third step is ichnographia. This is a kind of guideline how to do it. If you want to make your own project, create a new document, save it, and put it, for example, here. I had the work, put it here and say new folder, for example, Kohlhaas. So my whatever. So, and then copy it and format here, style sheet. For the first round, just to get used to it, copy it and say on RAM. Kohlhaas, simply mimic it, don't do the commands. And then, for example, if you go to the scenographia, then say MTP page create scenographia and put it as the second level, and then you can go for your person. In this case, this is neutral, so you can simply copy this as your private person, put it on this level, and then it will come, so it's neutralized, or make a new one. But yeah, you see, this is my person exit, this is a chapter, my person exit in me 01. This is scenographia in my Kohlhaas. So then there's nothing else here than the concepts to work. So if you want to keep that, just make a similar naming and a similar hierarchy of that. So you can, for example, take this, then you have it here, make it 4, 5, so it's small. This is good, but now this is linked to the other project. If you want to keep it as a link in this project, make a shift copy, say MTP page create of this, and then skip the link, and then you have it where, and you can delete it. This is how you reconstruct the same thing. If you want to reuse, for example, the concept of ornament or crime in your person, then you can keep it, whatever hierarchy you find. Then you keep it. This is working then. Yeah. Okay. This is an external link, and you can use this as a link to this concept with Kohlhaas. So by doing this, so we make an MTP page create, and then we say orthographia, just to and make it like this. And now the third one, MTP page create, this is called ichnographia, and put it on the higher level. So in this case, and what we have now is, so we have our thinking and our language, our globality, our person in the world. That's the ichnographia. This is how we, or you as a person, thinks globally. Then we talk with a certain location, which is Los. And we have a private chat with Los. And this is the orthographia. So, and now to make an interesting text, we have to contextualize that. So we have to make a plan, we have to make it vivid. And vivid is on this. You can make that vivid if you put Los and friends on stage. So you need more actors on stage, otherwise it's a monologue. It's a special case. But normally you need to create a stage play, which means you have multiple actors. One of them, the main protagonist, is Los, and there have to be others. So therefore we have to to select certain protagonists. So just take this and copy it here. And these are the protagonists, but first we don't want to have it here. We have to isolate that. NTP page create protagonists. So now we have it here. These are our protagonists. Make it a little bigger. So these are all books and persons I want to talk with. This is Adolf Loos. This is my main character. Then I think it would be good to have a talk with Sullivan, get some ideas of Semper, Ruskin, Alberti, Corbusier, Alexander, and Picon. So all of them are books I somehow know. I got an identity and I got a relation with, which means I have the IDs, which means here, so we have the books. Now I already put it here to my Los. I have the project. So now with Alexander, for example, I have an ID with Alexander. So which means I got a relation with him and I'm working with him. So there is a map and there are some research and so on, as we discussed it with Los and as I discussed it with Koolhaas. So with all of them, to make a project and to get them collaborate on stage, I have to put here. So this is my, wherever it is, it doesn't matter. This is my my Los, my project, my text. There's within that I have the notebook, my Los. This is this document. And now in parallel to that I create a project, O1. So this project I treat as a library or as a fictional character. So and I call it project O1. So I can keep it here. So, and to see what it is, it's again, like with the author, something I got comfortable with. But now it's not a single author with multiple books, it's a library with books of multiple authors. So, and I put all the books in here. And now let's have Koolhaas as well, add Koolhaas. So Koolhaas is still in our shelves of the library and I've put it now on my desk for working. So this is Koolhaas. So I simply take him to this project. No, in. Now he's part of it. So So, and we see that's project 1. We can load it. So I already had created a text sum for it. This is done with here. I can load it, but we can do it later. Here we have our protagonists, just to have an overview. So we need colas. So for add colas, take him. This is our ID of colas, take him. And then I changed the directory, therefore this machine needs a little calculation time. Now the indexes are reconfigured, and here we are. So we simply copy this and put it in here. Enable. Now we say Anton Picon, so it's Rencolas MTP page create of Rem Koolhaas. We can say yes, and it's loading all these files. So now this is the same hierarchy as him. Now we have Rem Koolhaas. It's here, like with Picon. We have this. Just copy Koolhaas, a similar thing. And what, for example, we can do is, we have it here, a heat map. We did it with all these. All these authors. A heat map of our project library. This is this library here. It's loaded already with all the documents, and I can create a heat map. So this is now my library now reading Picon. It's the same like here, but we want to have it with Koolhaas. So these is my library. These are the friends of the paragraphs of Koolhaas. The heat map of the library reading Koolhaas. This is how it's resonating it. But we didn't do an update of our identity. There's a new book by putting it into our library. So there's substantial change in the corpus. Therefore I have to recalculate the library. Where's my loss? Project 1. Okay, this is and then choose that, and now it's looking for all the books and creating an identity with a size of 12 for all the books. If you want to because Koolhaas has another vocabulary, if you want to recalibrate the dictionary, then you have to delete this first and then do this calculation. So there are 25,000 paragraphs, so it's a lot. It takes some time. Here we are. That's fine. Now look at it. It's our document. This is a dictionary now of all these books, a shared dictionary. This is the index of all the words, so it's 20 megabytes, so it gets huge for fast full text search. This is and this is a new sum with 1 megabyte. So now let's have now it's somewhere else, and the same with these guys, because the map changed totally. This is Christoph Alexander. So these are a few thousand pages of text. It's like this now. Corbusier. So, Alberti. Now you see which texts are in sync in this vocabulary, which are friends in your garden party. Ruskin is not there. Ah, there's a misspelling. Okay, now we have it. And okay. Gottfried Semper. You have to do it once, and then you can work with the library. So then you know which books are friends. And where do you look? And where you can expect interesting chats. So this is our main character. This is where Loos is. Look at the profile, and now you see by changing the, reorganizing the clusters, the cluster itself didn't change a lot because it's only one book extra, but the location is not stable. But they are still, if the center here was here before, now they are around the same paragraphs sorted here, just another location. The patterns of these are similar. So therefore we know now, we now can say if there are interesting chats with Loos, I have to look at these clusters here. This is what Loos is able or interested in, or is able to talk with. So here he has a lot of contributions. He's talking a lot, and if we are interested in Loos, we have to follow these chats. Go here, if this is a garden party, people staying around and talking. Loos is here, here, and here. And we can hear him talking with the others of your library. So, and this is where the others are talking. So then you can see who is getting friend in which topic with Loos in this environment, in this library we designed. So, if we have that, this is a map of the whole, that now it is reorganized. You see now the colors are at different locations. So you can treat it as a single author with a lot of books, and these are the small talks. So I take this thing here from Loos. Put it here. This is project 01 on Loos, so this is reading Loos. If we want to go here and say this is interesting, we are interested. These are 270 paragraphs in the library clustered at this location. Then we can take the project 1. We say it's a 4x4, 16. So each cell then has about 15. Each subcell has 15 cells. It's called text zoom. Make it project 01 or P01 and make a show for that. So, whatever it is, these are small talks. And now P01, select one, door-like, jewelry different, modern ornament, architect, hair, workshop, house, make furniture, industry, English. So, and this is Loos talking, there's a lot of Loos. Corbusier, Loos, he is dominating this thing. Very specific Loos, and he's talking alone. Alexander, Christoph Alexander, Loos. So these are the three talking here. If you go here, for example, Century City, there's another location or garden party, and Loos has other friends, but he's completely alone here. So ornament, best, scent, art. Now he's talking with Semper. It's a little too specific here. Go school, housework, good. Let's have a look what this is. Zoom in. House, modern, room, garden, spirit. And there is Loos, Alexander, Loos, Alberti. Now it's getting interesting. Alberti, and so on. Yeah. These, I think, are small talks. And you have to read them like a blog. And if they are interesting, take them and collect them in your project. So, like we did it with our, where was it? Loos ID. Here. Like we did it here. Make certain directories and say, this is an interesting chat. Mark it, comment it, and keep it for your work. So that's what I would say, these are small talks in a library. So then you have full text search in the library. So for example, this is a citation I used here in Loos in my project, and now I can simply ask my project for this text. And because the library is huge, I expect that there are 100 of answers, and then I split it again, and the command is just this. Here, there's a text, and if you want to see how the library asks, or this might be a text of you. You can write something, and then you're not following small talks, but you are start to discuss and talk with people on this garden party. So then you see how the corpus of text, how the libraries answer. So, and Ninth Symphony, it's about the absence of ornament, aesthetics, and so on. And you can see who is answering to this talk. Let's put it again. Here we are. So it's Gustav Alexander, Kohlhaas, Semper, and another book of Christoph Alexander. So this is how to directly get in active and talk to the library, and now get certain links again. So what is very interesting as well, but I don't think you should do it with the whole library. You should have this with certain authors, because they are more specific in the use of concepts. But this is working because of this index pretty fast. So if you want to ask for the library, now we have, what is the name of it? Project ID here. Now we have this full text search. This is done with the indexes. This is relatively rough and not bulletproof, because of simple implementation. I will improve that over time. Currently it's working with a set of words, but it's not working with words, so it checks for the first 4 characters of a new word. So if these characters are within a word, it's ignored. If they are at the beginning of the word, it's selected, the word is selected, and if there are words which are shorter than 4 characters, they are ignored as well. So for example, for the word art, we can't look it up, and you can't find it. It will be an error. But ornament is working fine. So this line means ask for text in project ID, ask for the concept of ornament, give me 12 random selected paragraphs, because there will be more in this huge library. Look for the word and give it not as a map but as a list. So this looks the whole library. And here we are. So find, you see, this is ornament. Everybody's talking about ornament. and it's not, it's always lower letter and it's ignoring capital letters. So it's very simple but powerful search. Go, for example, to crime. There's none. Crime. That's it. So rusking is about a national crime, betrayal on the part of England and truth and faith. Well, it's incredible. It's a subjective character with Picon. It's completely different. As a crime based itself on its subjective character. That's interesting. Low's condemnation. That might be interesting with Low, so we keep that because we want to have a dialogue with God and save it for later as interesting talks. So what we have there is we can look the library with the map, we can follow the small talks, we can search by full text. So for example, we can articulate a hypothesis with our text, or we can have a text of laws and then look who is answering in which sense, or we can have the word search to navigate in the library. In all the cases, we have to deal with this selection, this presentation of paragraphs which are presented, and we have to select the interesting one for our purpose. So by that you incrementally get used to this corpus of your books, and you get an understanding of what these people on this garden party are a character of. So this is what I think are the tools to navigate and to get an understanding. On a corpus of books you don't know precisely, and where you can instantly start working in multiple languages. If you want to have higher resolution of this library, then you need another project here, make for example 24, and then you not only have 12 by 12 fields here, and then a few hundred each. Then you have, for example, this is 150, 400, a few hundred each. If you have 24 by 24, then you have 600 and of 500, and then you have less elements, and you have a more differentiated work. But I think it's much better to have this relatively compact and then go with a text zoom and make a subdivision of the hundreds. So this is faster than to have the big thing in the background. On the other hand, if you're working with this full text, maybe it would be good to spread it, but on the other hand, if you go here by text, you can have the result as a map as well, and then you see how it's subdivided. It depends, and one has to get used to it and comfortable with it. So reading and collecting all this stuff and commenting that is one thing, and then writing text with it is another thing. So you collect the small talks, you collect the text search, the interesting passages, and this is very similar to what we had in Autographia here with my sources. So simply collect them. So taking this, you write a stage play, which is similar to these talks, but now with multiple participants, and you are the director of this setup. I would suggest that you make it very formal and very rough at the beginning to make a sketchy stage play, and then go to detail and make a nice text out of it. So this is what I wanted to show to you, and you see it's open, it's not easy, like everything which is of interest on this planet. But it's a new kind of writing, and it's a new kind of, it opened up a new kind of reading, and the key what I want to show you, what this opens up is you are abstracting from language. That's important. You can have talks and chats with people on with any language, hundreds, and it's abstracting from, you can have a fresh contact to a book. You don't have to read the book prior to working with it and getting in contact on this garden party with somebody who might be interesting, and you will find out by chatting with them. So I hope you found it interesting. It's unfortunate that it's not simple like writing Word, but I think it's exciting what this opens up, and if you want to get professional in these things, this is a good step. Thanks for watching, and this might be interesting as an appendix. So you have these tools here. Okay, close all this stuff if you don't need it. So, and save it. So, what you can do is, it's very important, turns out to be very important. So I'm working here, this is my los. This is my personal identity. My los had now this project. And here in this project I'm working in this library, this selection of books. So now I have 12, 16 and 24 dimension sized text sum. There's this dictionary as discussed in the last thing. And we have these books. And these books are temporary. So you can move these books somewhere later on. So you can move them as you like. So put them back to architecture or to another project. So you only need to have them in your folder, in your project folder, if you want to change these indexes. So these indexes are to the database. So for these references here, you don't need them as files in this directory. So you can put them somewhere else. If you want to work on it and reconfigure your indexes to the database, then you need these files. So therefore, this here is just working like that. So, and you will see now it's saved, and we can simply continue working with that. Go, for example, for anger. This is working here, and if this was a book within our project, and it simply doesn't matter. It recalibrates the file system, and here we are. As long as your book is within your library, it's working, wherever you're moving it. What you should not do is get this in disorder. So the system needs these files in these orders. You can add whatever you like, but this is what we need, and you simply have to move the book with all its indexes, annotations, separate things, additional files, sources, and so on. If you keep this here stable, you can put that wherever you like within your library. So that's, I think, important. The same now with your project. Simply move it, and then you are there. You can't move it if you have it open with Mathematica, then Mathematica gets angry. That's it. Therefore, I put my laws here to my working environment. I put my person here, but I can move it somewhere else. It doesn't matter. It's important that all these documents and names, they are unique. This is a little unfortunate. So if I have me01, the system is, or my implementations are not tolerating yet that you can have another me01 in another directory. This has to be taken care of. But on the other hand, this is very comfortable now and working in huge environments, as you see here. It's a lot of books or a lot of movies, and it's working pretty well this way I showed you. Thanks and see you.